Welcome to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day today. I went down to the coast and went into a shop. I won't name the shop, and I asked the shopkeeper for information about something, and he said, "Put your mask on." I said, "Actually, I haven't got my mask, and I don't really wear masks." So he said, "Okay, if I stand outside?" He says, "Don't be stupid. Put your mask on." And I said, "Don't call me stupid. My name isn't stupid." And I said, "Who are you? Are you a doctor? Do you know anything about masks? Are you a scientist? Do you know anything about masks?" I said, "Actually, them masks that you're about to put on my face," when he was walking towards me, "is a surgical mask." And I said, "If you do any research, you'll realise that there's some serious stuff inside there which ain't good for you. And if it gets inside you, I don't think you'll be too happy." And I says, "Plus the fact you should be able to breathe freely." And he says, "You're talking stupid." So I said, "See you later, take care." I gets into the car and drives another 150 metres, 200 metres, gets out of the car, going to the shop. This guy says, "Oh, Mark," comes up to me and we shake each other hand. "What do you need?" I says, "Look, I'm not wearing a mask, mate." He says, "Come in, don't be silly." Basically, come in, we start talking, happy, wonderful, feeling great, and then I'm off. Isn't it amazing the difference between one situation, experience to another? So those two experiences are so different, right? Think about that. So if I had that one experience, I could have been upset all day. But then this one counteracted it by a beautiful soul getting up, who's got intelligence, who understands it's all a load of nonsense and how dangerous masks are. So that was really interesting, and really interesting. Found that fascinating. Just an observation. But today's a great day because I'd like to talk to you about healing, health, well-being. I'd like to talk to you about what happened to me along my journey and how I started to realize that life was not just how I was led to believe by a system that tries to convince me that an apple a day isn't enough, and that it's important that we run to a pharmaceutical shop to instantly be healed. I realized that through my life, through my tennis elbow, or should I call it golfer's elbow, very similar but different places, that I suffered so badly because of what I was told was a grip. That's why golfers and tennis, because it's a repetitive grip, okay? Well, I used to lift pianos and furniture for a living before I became a healer. So they told me that you're going to have injections in your arm. And I didn't know anything else. I didn't study anything. I was too busy, like many people. So I said, "Okay, what do I need?" They say, "You need cortisone." So I had one injection. Then, oh, it's a little bit better now. And then a few weeks later, oh, it's back to really painful. So the doctor gave me another one and another one. And then I just accidentally bumped into this guy. And I said, "Oh, it's really hurting." He says, "Oh, that's not good, is it?" I said, "No, I've had 3 injections already." And he looked at me, he says, "What are you talking about? 3 injections? You mean 3 injections like over the years?" And I said, "No, 3 injections in the past 3 months." He looked at me, he said, "No, no, 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 no." And I said, "Why are you saying that?" He said, "I'm a doctor." He says, "No." And I said, "But my doctor gave it me." He said, "No." He said, "Do you understand what this is?" And I said, "No, he never told me." He says, "Mark," he says, "cortisone corrodes bones. It basically corrodes everything it's around. So it might look and feel like it's better, but ultimately it's going to corrode everything there." That was the start of me realizing that this is not good. There are good and bad people out there doing things for reasons. Okay? There's money to be made in this industry. And I can tell you this is a fact. That's the same with dentists. I'm sorry guys if you're dentists, but it's true. I remember going to a dentist with somebody that I was with, and he recommended, basically, because the teeth wasn't so perfect, he said, "Well, what we'll do is we'll grind your teeth down." He said, "And we'll stick you some caps in." Why? Because that's the only way, then there won't be that gap, and it'll be a lot better. So is that really the way forward? So he convinced my partner to have her teeth ground into if you looked at her front teeth, if she pulled them caps out, you'd be horrified. It looks like she's Dracula. It's horrific. Why is that? Why do you think that happened? Because of that. Because of that. So don't tell me that industry is an industry of well-being and natural healing, which, as rightly so, Richie Allen in our interview earlier on said, it's been hijacked. Nature and natural has been hijacked. The word, every possible word of truth, of love, is being hijacked. So when you realize that moment of, my God, why didn't I know? That's the moment where we are right now, why people are doing what they're doing. Because they don't know anything else, and it's not their fault. And we shouldn't get angry, but we do. Because we're defending our truth and they're defending their truth. Ultimately, we just fight each other. Where did that get anybody? Did that get that guy? Did that guy get, he got just more angry, so he's going to defend it? Because that's what humanity does. That's the flaw in humanity. They defend it. That's why there's no point telling people anything. They've got to figure it out for themselves. The moment when they think, okay, I get it now. Well, I don't know when that moment's going to be, but it surely ain't me telling him that that mask doesn't work. That's for sure. I mean, he was ready for fighting. Like, hang on a minute. Where did the customer's always right go? Where's that gone? Hey, out of the window. Why? Because now he's become an SS medical Billy Boy, number one, who knows everything about everything, because he's watched a few hours on the mainstream media telling him that it's important to do. So the doctor said to me, I can recommend something right now. And I said, what's that? He said, well, it's nothing that will enter into your body. And I said, tell me. He said, it's sound therapy, pulsar therapy, pulse therapy. So I went, what's that do? And he said, you'll be surprised, Mark. So he sent me to a department where it was pulse, sound, vibration. And after 3 sessions, it was gone. Never had a problem after that. Right? So that was the natural side. That wasn't the side of mainstream pharmaceutical push. It was natural, non-invasive, no problem. It was just pulsar, and it worked. It bloody worked. So that got me thinking, wow, there's alternatives. And then I started going down the path of looking at alternative. What does actually alternative mean? And when you look at it, you realize that alternative was actually true healing. And that the bully, the gangsters, hijacked true healing so that their non-healing would be the replacement of natural healing. Dr. Sebi says, if it isn't natural, and you can't eat it, then don't put it in you. Which makes complete sense. Exactly what Don Tolman says. So everything that we need is in nature. It's just that nature cannot be manipulated to a point where billions of dollars, trillions of dollars can be made. That's why it's of no interest. Plus the fact, a business that creates money from drugs doesn't want to fix or heal anything. It might want to suppress it for a little bit, but it wants it to keep going, so it keeps suppressing it. So it's a band-aid, it's a plaster, but when you pull back the plaster, it's still there. We haven't fixed the root cause, mate. Yeah, but it's okay, the plaster's there. Keep coming back for your plaster so we can sell more plasters, because that's our business. Without that, I mean, if I fix the root cause, well, I don't sell my plaster to you anymore, mate. So why would I even look at that? So you see, it's not their fault. They're just a business, and a crooked business. And a lot of people have said to me, Mark, you know what? Stop this, because they've done a lot of good for me. I'm not saying that everything that I'm talking about is under one bubble. I say that there's a lot of good within that industry. I do believe, I mean, Don Tolman would disagree, but I know Don would say maybe 2%. But I even know what Don went through a few months ago where, I don't want to talk about it too much, but whatever happened to him, he wouldn't allow any medical intervention, keep it all away from me. So even though he was in a bad place, at the time something happened to him, and it was an accident or maybe not. So, you know, anyway, it was what it was, but then he healed himself, and he was in a pretty bad state. If anybody was on his Facebook page, you could see what he looked like. He was a mess. Something happened to him. Somebody, banged into him in a car, accidentally, of course. You know how it is. These things just happen, right? In car parks. Yeah, of course they do. So what we see is that there's evidence right now, every day, of a push towards creating more and more fear, which creates more and more illness, which creates more and more customers. And that's where we are right now. So the reason why I'm making this video is because everybody's saying, what do I do? How do I strengthen myself? How do I heal myself? How do I become a stronger soul? Well, I'm going to keep talking about this because it's what I do. It's my job. It's my work. And what my work is to teach people or to share and to guide people along a journey of 4 days. So these 4 days are basically day one. If you come along and experience what I've learned over these 20 years, I share with you on day one a full day from 10 o'clock in the morning right the way through till about 5 o'clock at night. And we have 1 hour dinner. So what I talk about is I go through the whole process of what is important to use along your journey, which is oils, incense. So this is natural oils, how I started working with them, why I started working with them, and what I did with them to create what I've created in my Bajerski.com, those 8 oils. How it all started, explaining all the intricacies of A to B to C, right the way up, of what's important to do when you choose your oil, what's important to do, how to mix your oil, what's important to do, what to use as in crystals and so on. So that aspect of oils is talked about. The aspect of crystals is also talked about. What crystal to hold when healing yourself, when using it on clients, why we use a certain crystal, and what methods we can actually get great results from crystals. So that's another aspect. Then we go into incense. Incense is a vital part of cleansing any room, like sage, like Palo Santo. I go into all the what works for me, only what works for me, not into other people's ideas, but what I know has worked as a healer all these years. So I explain about how the process starts all the way through it, and how to use it, when to use it, and all of these things that prepare us for our self-healing or healing others. So I talk about all of that. I talk about my tools, which are feathers, why they're important to use, why I created a certain water like Dr. Emoto talked about. I created this I think probably at the same time maybe that he was talking about it, and then I found out about Dr. Emoto. I'm like, yes, confirmation from a scientist that's saying, and people will say, oh, he wasn't a scientist. Yes, he was. He walked into an office with a white coat and studied every day with petri dishes, with samples, with ice, with water, and he studied it. That's science, but he's his natural science. So you could call him what you want. He's a genius. So I realized that I'm hearing from different people, oh, this has already been worked on. People are doing this already. Scientists are doing it. Okay. So I explain how I not only make it, but how we use it, when we use it, and where we use it, and what kind of effect it has on the body. I also talk about the whole aspect of your healing process, of your hands, of the awakening of the hands, and why. Talk about the energy that pours through you and how to use that energy and utilize it, how to work with it, and how to create more of that energy. So this is on day one. It's a fascinating day. It's full on. It's a download of 20 years of everything that I've learned to be the healer that I was, which was pretty successful in the time. And people will hopefully vouch for that on here and say, if you know anybody who's had a healing session with me, they'll go through the process and tell you it's sometimes life transforming, as many healers will tell you this as well, that they see when they give healing sessions. It's not rocket science. It's very easy, it's palatable, and anybody, no matter what level you are, as a non-healer, as somebody who knows nothing about this work, or somebody who's a master at healing, this is a great course because you digest new things and you bring new things into your life. Or if it's brand new to you, it's like, wow, wealth of information on day one, and it is. It's so valuable, that information, that it's taken me 20 years. So you dilute that into your energy and you then start to work on that from that moment on. Day two comes and you start to understand what energy is, how to see it, how it works, how it functions, and then you start to participate in that very action of healing. So you learn how to self-heal, you learn to understand what the energy is, where it is, why it is, where it's going, what's it doing, how to cleanse it, how to clear it, how to work with it. So there's different types of energy. Then you also learn how to breathe. You learn how to channel. You learn how to accept that energy as an antenna. And that's on day two. And you experience a bit of healing as well, learning how and feeling the energy. So that's great. It's a powerful day two. Day three, you're getting really excited now because you're starting to get it. You don't know why, but you know something is real about this and you're getting very excited. So you're looking forward to day three, you're getting ready for it. So day three starts, you click on your computer, it says good morning, click here. You click here and then we start that day. So the day before, we've just told you, get a client ready for today. So you get a client ready and you've got your table or your bed, you've got them ready. You say, hey, you ask your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad, your partner, it doesn't matter, ask somebody just to come and lie down and have a bit of healing. I'm just practicing. Brilliant. So they lie down. So we go through on day three of how to prepare your client. It's amazing. So many tricks, so many wonderful things that help your client to feel at comfort and at ease. And this is what we do. So you're watching, you're learning, and then you begin the healing because you've just learned all the day before of how, where to go and what to do. So now you're kind of like, okay, let's give it a go. So now that day's gone because you've done some healing, and we do you click the video again, and then we talk again, and then day four comes, and I think day three you do 3 or 4 healings, and then day 4 comes, and then you do another healing. And when day 4 comes, because we speak on a night. Every night we speak to each other, so we communicate and we talk about that day. But day 4 is fascinating because day 4 tells you everything. Because day 4, everybody says, okay, I've done this. I've healed about 10 people through this 4 days. And Mark, I can't explain how incredible and what has just happened to my brother, my sister, my husband, my mother. It's so profound that they're crying. We're all crying. That is no lie. That this isn't a sales pitch. This is truth. Ask anybody who went on the course. So I think day 4 is my favorite day. I literally, I am so excited on day 4 because it's the final day and they all get their certificates and they all share their experience. It's fascinating because it makes you realize how important this is right now in our life. I'm not telling you to come on this course in a couple of weeks, which is about to come on. A lot of people are already. A lot of people asked me to talk about it because they weren't sure, but it doesn't matter. You'll find your course somewhere else if this one you haven't been able to do it. The course will come and healing will come. No, I have no doubt about that. But this course, which is on the 5th to the 8th, is going to be amazing. And it's going to be life transforming if you participate in the right way. And that means that you take 4 days off. This is something like you would go into a building and you're just going to spend 4 days there. So you go into that building, you start at 10 o'clock, You finish, you have 1 hour dinner, and then you finish at 5 o'clock, and then you go home and then come back again. No disruptions, nobody trying to stop you. That is the best way to do this course. Oh, I'll do it one day and then forget about it and do it next week. No, not this course. Don't do it. Don't even go there. Do the course if you're prepared to sacrifice your beautiful 4 days of your life. And if people love you, they will appreciate that sacrifice you're doing. And if they love you, they'll want you to do it. They'll encourage you to do it. You deserve it. So that's the course. It's on the 5th till the 8th of August. So you've got 2 weeks. It's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to blow you away. It's going to change your life. And you're going to feel different. I'm not going to be able to explain why, but I am going to tell you this. Everybody who's been on the course has said it's changed their life, how they see life in a different light, how they understand their power and how their power is ultimately infinite, and they know it after the course. That is how powerful this course is, and I swear it with my hand on my heart. So I hope to see you on the 5th at about 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, whenever we jump on live to talk to you and see how your day's gone, and to share your love and what you felt about that day, and any questions you have. And myself and Layla Sati, we're both in different countries, but we come together on Zoom. So it's a private Zoom inner circle for the pure energy healing practitioners. So we end up having a really good chat, and we can share our truth. And at the end of it, you end up in a beautiful family who all love each other, who support each other as best as we can when we have time, if we're not too busy. But we try and always be there for you. And that's it. I think it's one of the best courses in the world. And I stand by it with all my heart and soul and my reputation. It's one of the best courses in the world. And I hope somebody underneath here can verify that and tell them and share some information with them. But if nobody does underneath here, then just go and have a look at the testimonials from the Pure Energy Healing Academy, which is my academy that is absolutely geared up to helping those who have become healers spread their light in the world. Because there's also a beautiful box that you click and it says find a practitioner, and those practitioners are there for you anytime you need help. So that's it. So we do our best to help all the family in pure energy healing, and we hope to grow and grow to the thousands and thousands, and hopefully one day hundreds of thousands, that we then can make a difference in the world. So from my heart to yours, have a beautiful day, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks for the next Pure Energy Healing online interactive course. Take care, guys. Links below. Love you all. Thank you. See you soon.